we were covering last time on the show about how Drew was all in hot water. And we are like, this is so crazy because Drew never gets, really into any, controversial stuff. She's always, people just love her. Anyway, so she was getting some pushback because during the writer's strike, she's like, I'm coming back with my show. We're going to respect the writer's strike. We're not going to have, obviously any writing on the show that will create issues. But people were pissed. And they're like, what are you doing? So she ended up putting out an apology video, and then she put the apology video back and deleted it. And then she's like, we're not coming back with the show after all. So here we are now, and she's still getting criticized because now that the writer's strike is done and writers are okay to go back to work, they're pissed. And so they're not coming back to her show. So this is a post-strike strike on Drew Barrymore.
Right. And it's been three of them that are, at the helm of it that aren't coming back. Chelsea White, Christina Kinnan, and Liz Coe, and all have been very vocal about Drew's decision to come back when she was in the middle of going through the back and forth, and they're deciding not to go back. So now the show is kind of scrambling. They're supposed to come back on October 16th. I don't know if they're going to find, permanent writers, if they're going to just try to test some people out during this phase just to get a show on, or Drew is planning on coming back before, without writers. So if they're just going to end up doing their show that they were planning on doing without writers, which I don't know. I imagine they're going to be testing some people out because the others have been with the show for a while. So.
Well, so this was a TMZ article, and so these are three of the writers who, are we have Chelsea, Christina, and Liz.
Yeah.
So Drew's news strikes, Drew's WGA crew. Do you like breaking strikes? I don't know. What do you think about this? Like, I got this weird feeling about it in general, and it's like, retaliatory, because I believe Drew when she said that, she has a huge team and they were complying with the strike rules even when they decided to come back. And then she didn't actually come back with the show. So it's just very retaliatory, just to be like, we don't like that you wanted to do this and that you were thinking about doing this. And even though you didn't actually do it, it's still kind of a proverbial F you. Yeah. I don't know much more about the situation and these three writers in particular, but I definitely get a kind of weird feeling about it.
And it's unfortunate because we talk about Drew Barrymore, we talked about Bill Maher, we talked about Kelly Clarkson, we talk about all these people that are coming back with their shows that we're talking about doing it before the writer's strike ended. It's kind of unfortunate that it ended just kind of like a few days after they made those announcements. It's kind of like they should have kind of held out a little more, gave it a few more days, and then they wouldn't have been in this hot water. There's a lot of pressure because we've talked about it before. There's a lot of pressure because it's not just writers. It's catering, it's the costume people, it's hair and makeup, it's everybody. All these people are not getting money in solidarity for the writers and stuff like that, which I understand. But sometimes these fights aren't everybody's fight. Now I'm not saying for one side or another, but I'm just saying I understand the perspectives of it, and it's a very tough situation. And when she made that apology, I made the prediction on the show that people were going to kind of forgive her, but I said that she was probably going to have a hard time still when she came back because of it, because she did make that line cross. So, while the public kind of was on her side and like, oh, Drew, thanks so much. At the end of the day, she is having a hard time when it comes to the industry professionals that will not forget this.
So, as far as kind of where we go from here and, will this really, because I mean, is Drew going to end up finding more writers? Yes. Probably. But again, it seems because she had said she had planned to still come back. Again, this goes to the whole, maybe she shouldn't have done that because we should still be standing with the writers at the time, even though she wasn't going to be hiring writers, but just not to, I don't know, do anything. Tell you what, the timing was just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because I think she was at a breaking point. Absolutely. And so she goes, no, we got to come back. I have, team members that I have to pay and they have families they need to feed. And this and that. She was probably just getting a ton of pressure. And then, absolutely, the writer strike ended up ending. I
just never feel like Drew Barrymore is just the kind of person that's, I'm sure, with being an actress, you're very kind of self-involved for some, standpoint, but she's always struck me as a very genuine person. And so, I really think that she was trying to do the best that she could. Now, if I was her in this situation now, I would use this as an excellent opportunity to maybe make some of the changes in the show that I couldn't make with those other writers that were the head writers that were kind of controlling things. This is a great opportunity for her to do a little bit of a revamp, to take things in a new direction. to try new things. And because any new writer that she brings in is just going to be just so excited for the opportunity and just so, yes, yes, ma'am, and whatever, as opposed to maybe these other writers who have been gotten a little more comfortable, that are just kind of just running things they want to run, way they want to run it. So this could be a really good thing too. I wish her luck as far as all that goes, but it's really tricky when you're in these situations, because I really don't think there's a good option either way, especially if you're a smaller production. Not that Drew Barrymore is a smaller production, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so, we don't know if this is going to affect the return date, but as of right now, the show is supposed to be coming back as of October 16th.